Chosen ones, let me remind you of something powerful. You are unshakable. You've stood in the fire, faced the storms, and come out stronger every single time. What they meant to destroy you only built you. You are walking proof that no weapon formed against you can prosper. The universe has been working in your favor all along, even when it felt like everything was stacked against you. Now the scales are tipping, and justice is on your side. Every bit of negativity they sent your way is returning to its source, and you are rising higher than ever. This is your time. This is your moment. Stand tall, chosen ones, because you've already won. Your resilience, your light, your divine purpose, it's untouchable. What they underestimated was the force within you, the grace that carried you through. So hold your head high, knowing the universe never forgets and always balances the scales. You are chosen for a reason, and nothing can stop the greatness that's already unfolding in your life. Let's claim it. Let's own it. Because your story isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. The harm they intended for others now spirals back toward them, piercing through the illusion of control they once wielded. Their thoughts, once sharpened as tools of manipulation, unravel into chaos, leaving them drowning in the weight of their own torment. Fear consumes them, circling endlessly in a void of their own creation. The power they once believed unshakable dissipates like vapor, leaving only the stark reality of their crumbling world. The lies they spread, meant to ensnare others, now roar back louder, a relentless storm inside their minds. Every thread of deceit they wove becomes the chains that now bind them, leaving them isolated in a reality of mistrust and emptiness. They thought they could bend fate to their will, but balance is inevitable. The very forces they sought to exploit now rise against them with unyielding precision. Their attempts to control the narrative fail as the truth stands firm. They search for a foothold, but every grasp reveals more instability. Every step takes them deeper into the collapse of what they built on lies. Their efforts to escape the consequences lead them only to confront the hollowness of their intentions. While they schemed in shadows, unseen forces worked tirelessly to protect and restore order. Justice doesn't waver or falter. It arrives with the weight of ages, ensuring that the harm they caused is repaid in full. Every plan they devised, every wound they inflicted, now swells into an unstoppable tide of reckoning. Spiritual law never loses sight of its target. It operates with precision, unyielding in its demand for balance. They believed they were beyond reach, but the unseen forces they mocked are now undeniable, closing in from all sides. The energies they twisted for selfish gain now bind them, relentless and unforgiving. The weight of their actions grows heavier with every attempt to escape, each step further tightening the circle around them. Justice doesn't pause or hesitate. It recalibrates the scales with ruthless efficiency. When they sought to harm those aligned with divine purpose, they disrupted a sacred order, and now the forces they defied have come to set things right. There is no escape from the consequences. The correction is as inevitable as the rising sun. They sought to unleash disorder, but chaos is a force that devours indiscriminately. Their intentions, once aimed outward, now spiral back with unrelenting force, intensified and unavoidable. Every act of malice they orchestrated is now a storm they cannot control, uprooting the illusions they built to shield themselves. Their fabricated world shatters under the weight of unseen forces responding to their actions. The very energies they manipulated now become their captors, binding them in a web of their own design. Justice has no mercy for those who tamper with divine order, and their reckoning arrives not from mortal hands, but from forces they cannot defy. If you've stood firm through their attempts to dismantle you, it's time to declare boldly, "Justice aligns with my purpose." Their strategy was to dismantle you from within, using your own mind as their battlefield. They twisted your reality, creating a fog of doubt and confusion that clouded your sense of self. By sowing seeds of mistrust, they aimed to isolate you, cutting you off from the people and truths that could sustain you. It was a deliberate act of sabotage, designed to make you question everything: your instincts, your relationships, even your worth. Their words weren't casual. They were calculated, spoken to erode the foundation of your confidence. What they wanted wasn't simply for you to stumble, but to convince you that no ground existed beneath your feet. Their chosen tool was fear, crafted carefully to invade every corner of your peace. They used it to shadow your choices, making every step uncertain, every connection strained. They thrived on the fractures they created, knowing clarity would empower you to rise. But their weapon cuts both ways. The fear they wielded now consumes them, leaving no room for trust, no place for refuge. The alliances they broke can never be repaired, and the loneliness they sought to impose on you becomes their daily torment. The paranoia they instilled in you becomes the very air they now breathe, a constant reminder of their own unraveling. What they set in motion returns to them with a force far beyond their imagining. They thought to destabilize you, but instead, they've laid the foundation for their own downfall. The energies they sought to control have turned against them, ensuring they reap the full measure of their deeds. This is not just justice, it is the unbreakable cycle of cause and consequence, a truth that stands eternal. Dear brothers and sisters, the peace of God be with you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporary concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this gesture will come back to you 100-fold in abundance. They treated your mind like a maze, designing every twist and turn to trap you in confusion. Their actions weren't careless. They were meticulously planned to make you doubt every decision, every instinct, and even your own worth. They created a storm of uncertainty, feeding off your hesitation and twisting your reality to suit their narrative. Each interaction felt like a subtle attack, an undermining word here, a calculated omission there, all designed to make you question yourself. It wasn't random, it was intentional. By magnifying your perceived flaws and overshadowing your accomplishments, they sought to rewrite your understanding of who you are. They wanted you to carry their manipulations in your thoughts, ensuring you'd question every step you took, long after they had spoken. But they underestimated one crucial truth. Your foundation runs deeper than their attempts to shake it. Their schemes, no matter how intricate, are ultimately fragile because they depend on breaking something they can't destroy: your resilience. The turmoil they created will turn on them, leaving them ensnared in the very confusion they tried to impose on you. While they unravel, trapped in the consequences of their own malice, you will rebuild stronger than before. Their failure lies in their arrogance, believing they could extinguish a strength they could never fully comprehend. Step into your potential. Subscribe now, and let's create something extraordinary. I recall a season in my life when the weight of doubt felt insurmountable. Each day felt like a battle, and no matter how hard I tried to steady myself, everything seemed to unravel. I questioned everything, my abilities, my direction, even my own intuition. It felt as though the ground beneath me had vanished. But what I couldn't see then was that this chaos wasn't my undoing. It was my refinement. The trials that sought to break me were shaping something far more resilient within me. This is your truth. The storms they created cannot endure. Their manipulations only fuel the strength you are cultivating. As they face the fallout of their actions, you will rise above the wreckage, grounded in a clarity they can never take away. The power they sought to strip from you has only been fortified, ensuring that nothing and no one can dismantle the person you are becoming. In the moments where everything seemed to unravel, you found the resilience you didn't know you had. It wasn't about escaping the uncertainty, but learning to move forward despite it. Through every doubt and hesitation, you forged an inner strength that aligned you more closely with your purpose. When life feels overwhelming, remember that it's not about running from the chaos. It's about finding your balance within it. What feels insurmountable today is shaping a foundation that will last a lifetime. The storm will pass, but the strength you gain will stay with you forever, guiding you toward clarity and confidence. Their power wasn't in loud threats or overt actions. It was in their ability to dismantle your confidence with quiet precision. They blurred the lines of truth, feeding you distorted versions of reality until you began to question your own mind. Their manipulation wasn't careless, it was deliberate, crafted to leave you doubting yourself, your choices, and even your identity. Each dismissive word, each subtle act of disapproval, was a calculated move to undermine your self-assurance. They thrived on creating a maze of uncertainty, hoping you would lose sight of your inner strength. This wasn't just about influencing your decisions, it was about controlling your perception, making you feel small, unsure, and dependent on their narrative. This wasn't merely emotional sabotage, it was a direct attack on your spirit. Their presence brought a heaviness, an invisible weight that pressed down on your energy and dimmed your light. The disruption went beyond your mind, affecting the very essence of your being. They introduced instability into spaces that once brought you peace, chipping away at the foundation of your strength with intentions rooted in envy. The exhaustion you felt wasn't coincidental. It was the result of their toxic influence sapping your energy to fuel their own emptiness. Their goal was to weaken your connection to yourself, to obscure the clarity of your intuition and keep you trapped in doubt. But what they underestimated was your ability to rebuild. Their actions may have caused a temporary disruption, but they could never extinguish the light that burns within you. Each moment of confusion became a step toward greater awareness. The barriers they placed before you are falling, and with them, your connection to your higher self grows stronger. You are reclaiming your truth, not just in defiance of their actions, but in the power of your own resilience. The hesitation you felt, the moments when doubt clouded your vision, were not coincidences. They were deliberate disruptions, crafted to sever you from the clarity that connects you to your purpose. This wasn't simply the malice of others. It was a targeted assault on your spirit. Be cautious of those who project kindness while carrying unseen shadows, for their intentions seep into your space, dulling your light. Their attempts to entangle you in their web of negativity were futile, for your spirit was never theirs to control. They underestimated the strength within you, a strength not born of fragility, but of fire. While their actions tried to obscure your brilliance, they only highlighted the power you hold. Shake free of their influence, dissolve the barriers they imposed, and reignite the connection to your authentic self. Their schemes will crumble under the weight of their own malice, for what they have unleashed will always return to its source. The challenges they brought into your life were not your undoing, but your awakening. Each attempt to harm you became an opportunity to uncover your resilience. You didn't fall beneath the weight of their actions. You rose above them, transforming adversity into your foundation. Their envy and hatred couldn't break you. They became the very elements you used to rebuild. The pain they intended to inflict was not an end, but a beginning, a spark that fueled your transformation. Each wound deepened your wisdom, allowing you to see through the illusions they wove. Where they worked to obscure the truth, you uncovered it, reclaiming your strength and standing firm. Their chaos didn't shatter you. It clarified your purpose. They tried to extinguish your light, but all they did was reveal the indomitable force within you, a force that cannot be contained or defeated. Ready to unlock your power? Subscribe now, and let's take the first step together. The challenges you endured didn't weaken you. They reshaped you. Every hardship refined your vision. Every battle fortified your essence. The scars you bear are not marks of defeat, but proof of resilience, where growth and strength emerge from pain. The harm they intended wasn't your end. It was the spark of your transformation. What they failed to see is that their actions weren't breaking you. They were building you. You've risen, untouchable, stronger than ever, no longer recognizable to those who underestimated you. They relied on chaos to overpower you, believing it was their tool of control, but they've become captives of their own creations, drowning in the energy they once tried to direct at you. The weight they carried into your world has turned back on them, exposing their lack of fortitude and their inability to rise from their own undoing. Unlike them, you've mastered the art of turning adversity into power, and their shadows hold no sway over your light. The energy they unleashed has turned against them, unraveling the illusions they wove. I remember the attempts they made to bring me down. Their words were calculated, their actions deliberate. But rather than falling, I took the turmoil and turned it into strength. I took the destruction they aimed my way and built something indestructible. Their efforts didn't extinguish my fire, they fed it, fueling a radiance they couldn't comprehend. The very energy they thought would consume me has backfired, amplifying my clarity and exposing their weakness. Now, as they grapple with the fallout of their own choices, you remain steadfast, untouchable, in the brilliance of your transformation. Their plans have crumbled, and their intentions have ricocheted, leaving them to face the very forces they sought to control. What they meant to harm you has only propelled you forward, and their unraveling is the ultimate testament to your unwavering power. You've taken what was meant to break you and turned it into an unshakable force, leaving them behind to contend with their own reflection. Subscribe now. Let's rise together. You've witnessed their subtle schemes, the fleeting look, the carefully chosen words designed to weave doubt into your mind. They operate quietly, cloaking their intentions behind charm and pretense. Their tactics begin small, with whispered insinuations and strategic gossip, eroding your confidence in the people you love. Their aim was clear: to isolate you, to sever the connections that fortified your strength, leaving you to face their manipulation alone. None of it was accidental. It was methodical, crafted to destabilize you. But for some, words and psychological games are insufficient. They reach deeper, channeling their bitterness into rituals and symbols, pouring their malice into attempts to harm you. They harness darker energies, believing their actions can weaken your foundation. But what they failed to realize is that your spirit is unyielding, a force they cannot grasp or control. You felt the heaviness of their intent, the unsettling pressure of energies meant to disrupt your peace. But their efforts faltered before the strength of your light. Their darkness cannot penetrate the shield of your spirit, and the negativity they summon finds no place to cling. Instead, it rebounds, amplifying the emptiness within them. Their actions only highlight their desperation, exposing their inability to wield the very forces they sought to control. Their attempts to harm you reveal more about their own fragility than about your resilience. The energy they send forth dissipates before it can reach you, turned back by the brilliance of your presence. Let them continue. Let them pour their energy into the void. Their schemes are powerless against you. They cannot comprehend the depth of your strength, and their obsession will be their undoing. As they escalate, seeking new ways to invade your space and drain your energy, they only reveal their weakness. You are untouchable, a testament to the power that comes from clarity, faith, and unshakable resilience. Their efforts crumble, and the chaos they tried to unleash consumes only themselves. You remain steadfast, untouched, and victorious in the face of their hollow intentions. This is no longer an undercurrent of manipulation. It's a blatant assault on your freedom and spirit. They've moved beyond subtle tactics, pressing into dangerous realms where intent is weaponized through rituals, objects, and names. Their desperation drives them to meddle with energies they cannot comprehend. Their actions a collision course with the natural order. They lace their efforts with fear, embedding it into every move they make, believing that they can tether you to their will. But they fail to grasp an essential truth. Every act of malice they conjure carries a cost they cannot escape. Those who wield destructive forces must shoulder the weight of their consequences. Recklessly, they try to strike, unaware that their every effort is a noose tightening around their own intentions. The forces they summon do not bend to their desires. They return with precision, leaving those who called upon them ensnared by their own design. Their actions have set in motion a reckoning they cannot outrun. While they sought to weaken you, they instead invited chaos into their own lives. The boundaries they sought to break have fortified your resilience, reflecting their attacks back tenfold. The energy they unleashed is unrelenting, and its justice is immediate and absolute. They thought they could orchestrate your downfall, but they are now prisoners of their own miscalculations, unable to stop the spiral they've created. The battle has shifted, and their own mind has become the arena of their undoing. Their plots and schemes crumble under the crushing weight of their paranoia, the very fear they sought to plant in you now taking root in them. Every step they take is haunted by the instability they once inflicted. They cannot escape the shadows of their actions. Each choice they made to harm you now echoes in their every waking moment. Their reality is fraying, their peace shattered by the same forces they believed they could control. The universe's balance is unyielding, and the energy they sent to destroy you has circled back, magnified and unrelenting. Their terror is self-inflicted, their downfall inevitable. You remain untouchable, not by chance, but by the strength of your spirit and the truth of the natural laws they dared to defy. What flows out into the world always finds its way back, unrelenting and precise, as if the universe itself seeks equilibrium. They are now ensnared in the very reality they constructed, grasping desperately for control as it slips further from their reach. Their thoughts are a labyrinth of turmoil, every corner echoing with their own deceit. Anxiety crushes their chest, and the nights stretch endlessly, their minds gripped by unease and paranoia. They once thrived on your uncertainty, but now it is they who falter, unable to escape the repercussions of their own actions. Their once calculated confidence has eroded, leaving them surrounded by suspicion, haunted by glances that feel like betrayals, and overwhelmed by the silence they cannot interpret. Meanwhile, you rise higher, unshaken and resolute, as they sink deeper into the quagmire of their own making. This is not mere chance. It is the scales of justice correcting the imbalance. They invoked chaos, yet it is they who are consumed by it. The forces they naively summoned have turned against them, stripping away their illusions of control. Their carefully constructed facade has cracked, and the foundation they thought unyielding crumbles beneath the weight of their own actions. They lacked the foresight to understand that manipulation has a cost, a toll that cannot be evaded. While you emerge stronger, guided by resilience, their lives unravel, each attempt at control dragging them further into the abyss. The energies they conjured, unaware of their unrelenting nature, demand recompense. Balance is not kind, nor does it waver. The unseen forces they sought to manipulate have become their undoing, dismantling their lives with an intensity they cannot endure. Their minds are now the battlefield, plagued by relentless whispers of mistrust and confusion. Each thought spirals into a deeper sense of paranoia, the fear they once instilled in others now rooted firmly in their own psyche. Clarity eludes them. They stumble blindly, their every move shadowed by the repercussions of their intentions. They open doors they were never meant to approach, and now those doors refuse to close. What they invited in has taken hold, distorting their waking reality with vivid visions of guilt and torment. The power they sought to control has turned on them, merciless and consuming, stripping them of any semblance of peace or safety. Their unraveling is no accident. It is the inevitable reckoning they never anticipated. As they crumble beneath the weight of their own chaos, you remain steadfast. Their downfall is inevitable because they lack the strength to endure the storm they unleashed. The forces they called upon have no allegiance to them, and the disruption they created will consume everything they once believed secure. Their arrogance blinded them to the consequences of their actions, and now they are left to face the results of what they could not control. Every deceitful move, every attempt to harm you has turned back on them. The disorder they summoned now surrounds them, reflecting the intentions they once directed outward. They sought to shatter your resolve, but the only thing they fractured was themselves. Their unraveling is not chance. It is the universe restoring balance. You didn't merely endure their attempts, you transcended them. Unmoved by the shadows that now devour them, you rise unbound. The storms they set in motion only refined your vision, deepened your purpose, and solidified your strength. While their foundation crumbles, you stand as proof that divine protection cannot be undone by human malice. They misjudged your power, believing their schemes could diminish your light. Yet here you are, untouched and ascending, elevated to a realm their actions can never reach. Their reckoning is unavoidable. The energy they released returns with relentless precision, weighing them down with the full force of their actions. Their struggles are the inevitable results of their own choices, and the burden is far greater than they can bear. You, however, move forward with clarity and strength, aligned with the higher purpose they tried to obstruct. Though their collapse is not yours to celebrate, it is a reminder of the unshakable justice woven into the fabric of existence. Your story is one of resilience, a testament to the power of inner light against even the darkest assaults. Share your triumph, not to dwell on their failure, but to inspire others to rise, to persevere, and to trust that no force can extinguish what is divinely protected. Their actions were meant to break you, but instead, they revealed the depth of your indomitable spirit. Let your journey stand as a beacon for those navigating their own storms, a reminder that light will always prevail over darkness.